About 6 years ago, when we first came to the valley and into this area, we came, and of course there was nothing at that time. We went to a place after a while where the government said we could have some land, and we started to erect some buildings there. Later the government said we could not have that land because it was government property. So they permitted us to remain there, but we didn't have anything to meet in. And just, as you can see, the sun was extremely hot, and it can get to over 112 degrees here in the valley. Today it's cool today. Today it's about 95, so that's nice. Got a bit of a cloud cover today. There was a group of people in Zimbabwe who had come from the States. They were called Compassion Ministries. And the man who was heading up that group of ministries was David Van Rensburg. And I shared with him about our vision here and what we hope to be able to do here in the valley among the Chikunda people and also the Vadoma people. He said, "What are you worshiping under?" At that time we had nothing. We were worshiping under the trees. So he said, "Well, let me see if I can get you a tent." So at that time he gave us a tent. In Zimbabwe dollars, it would probably be about $2,500 worth of tent. And we established that. We raised the tent, and we met under this tent for about 4.5, 5 years. Later, we opened another area, and Jimmy Swaggart, by that time, had come into Zimbabwe, and David Van Rensburg began to work with Jimmy Swaggart Ministries, and he now heads up Jimmy Swaggart Ministries here in Zimbabwe. And Jimmy Swaggart Ministries does an incredible amount of work among the refugees here in Zimbabwe, the refugees that are coming over from Mozambique because of the civil war that's going on there. And at that time, he was working with tents, these big marquee tents, and he said, "Could you use another tent?" And so I said, "Yes, if God's still on the throne, of course we can use another tent." So he gave us another tent. But in the background here, you can see what's the remainder of the tent. Because of the sun, because of the extreme heat, and the strength of the sun here, after 6 years, it has just deteriorated the tent. We've erected this temporary shelter, and this land here has now been given to us by the government for the establishment of a good church building and also a house for the pastor to live in. So we're praising God for the opening of doors by God here in Zimbabwe to see this area opened up for the gospel. Amen. Hallelujah.